I look great. I'm not jealous, Hoops, and you know it. It looks better on me anyway.
Well, let Slade be the judge of that.
Look at the material.
You should be going home
You
anyway.
can be the judge of it.
Some people are saying they want a skip wedding scene for season 2 of Heated Rivalry, but actually, we can skip that wedding scene. Who said that? Who said that? Me. I said that. As they are called skip for an actual reason. And yes, I am wearing my Challengers t-shirt because today we will be talking about family business. And by family business, I mean Heated Rivalry. So if I'm talking about family business, I'm gonna have to show up in my other family business. Shipping wars. They have existed ever since fandom itself has existed. In modern times, we had Team Edward versus Team Jacob from the Twilight series.
Where the hell have you been, Loka?
Team Conrad versus Team Jeremiah from The Summer I Turned Pretty. Speaking of a love triangle involving literal 2 brothers and a brunette protagonist, we have also had the CW's Vampire Diaries, which is a show I really want to get into and watch because I love my girl Nina Dubry. We've even had Team Art versus Team Patrick and the greatest movie ever created, which is Luca Guadagnino's Challengers back in the spring of 2024. Which real ones know that these crazy, toxic, codependent bisexuals, they really just would have benefited if they all just been in a throuple, if they all just been in a relationship with each other, all 3 of them. But a new shipping war has arisen from the ashes. Yes, you guessed it correctly, Team Skip versus Team Hollandoff from the hit TV show Heated Rivalry. So the question remains settling in the air, and by air I mean toxic stan Twitter. Who is the better couple, Skip or Hollandoff? And based on my thumbnail, I'm pretty sure you know my personal answer. But on December 5th, 2025, there was a cosmic shift in the universe. Straight men all across America grew a strong affinity towards Scott Hunter, the character in his romance with Kip, deeming it as the better relationship compared to Hollandoff, which I and a bunch of other people on the internet find absurd. While season 1 of Heated Rivalry was airing, in between episodes, I would always watch reaction videos of people reacting to the show on YouTube. And whenever usually there was straight male reactors reacting to the show, they would always just gravitate towards Scott Hunter as a character, or they would favor the Skip relationship over Hollandoff, which I found very, very interesting. So in this video, I want to talk about why I believe that straight men really gravitate towards Skip and towards Scott Hunter, because I do have my theories and my thoughts and suspicions. But whoa, hold your horses. I do have to give a quick disclaimer. If you disagree with me, that is totally fine, because I know people are very passionate when it comes to their takes and the show and the characters. But the thing is, here's the kicker. We can disagree with each other but still have a very nuanced, nice conversation. We can do all of that without attacking each other in the comment section. And of course, because I love talking, I love nuanced conversations, I am so open to hearing other perspectives. I'm so open to hearing other people's opinions, just as long as we're all respectful of each other. And of course, that is the beautiful thing about opinions, is we don't have to share them. With all that being said, let's get into it, shall we? Skip is the romantic pairing slash secondary couple on the hit Crave TV show Heated Rivalry. The characters and their storyline is based on the very first book of Rachel Reed's Game Changer series titled Game Changer. Scott Hunter is a gay closeted hockey player who plays for the fictional New York Admirals. He has a meet cute with Kip Grady, who is a working class movie barista working on getting his master's degree in art history. They meet when Kip is on shift and Scott Hunter comes in to order a smoothie. And I want to mention this because it is essential to the plot of their story. So around this time when Scott and Kip, when they meet, Scott, he is not doing so hot in his hockey career. He is losing games. He's not scoring any goals. But then he meets Kip and he gets his smoothie. And after that interaction, he starts winning games, he starts scoring goals, feeling more confident. So that is the reason to why he keeps going back to the smoothie place and getting smoothies, special smoothies from Kip specifically. And that's how they get to know each other better and start to, you know, flirt and yada yada yada. So yeah, because of vibes and socially awkward flirting, they realize that they are attracted to each other. So they go back to Scott's place, his really nice penthouse apartment, and they hook up. Another thing that is important to note because of the Skip dynamic, like I said earlier, Kip Grady, he is working class and he is working on getting his master's degree, so he is still living with his parents at the age of 25, which of course makes sense. So yeah, interestingly enough, in the book he is living with his parents, but in the show it seems like he's only living with his dad. In the show it just makes it seem like Kip's dad is a single dad. Scott Hunter is portrayed by Francois Arnault, and Kip is portrayed by Robbie GK, who is Riley, the caretaker nurse from Benito Skinner's show Overcompensating. When the episode aired, it was very polarizing because this was such a contrasting relationship regarding Shane and Ilya. Some people hated Skip and thought they were uninteresting and boring compared to the primary couple, while some other people actually really loved Skip and kind of thought it was giving, like, you know, a cute little rom-com. Like they were giving a cute little rom-com moment. All in all, with the varying opinions circulating the internet, people surely took to Twitter and TikTok to share their 2 cents. Now, before I go into my criticisms with Skip, I do want to give my opinions about the episode overall. Overall, I thought this was a really great episode of television. I especially love the cinematography, especially in some of the shots. And the fact that Jacob was basically able to take about most of this book and fit it into, what, a 45-minute episode of television, I think that is very stellar. So even though I do think this was a great episode of television, I never reheat my rivalry. I never go back to rewatch this episode because, like I'm going to get into, they just don't do it for me as a couple. So yeah, there is no desire to reheat episode 3, and let's actually get into why. Well, before we even get into why, I'm going to talk about why I think straight men love this relationship and why I think straight men love Scott. So we're going to talk about that first, okay? I think even before watching episode 3 of Heated Rivalry, straight men are already drawn to Scott Hunter because he is what they aspire to be. I mean, he is rich, he is tall, he is handsome, he's attractive, he's athletic, he's a professional athlete. And I truly do believe that when straight men are watching this show and perceiving Scott Hunter, whether they realize it or not, they are thinking to themselves, hey, this guy is exactly like me. The only difference is that he is gay. And to a lot of people, straight and queer alike, they could perceive Scott Hunter as being straight passing, as he doesn't have any of the qualities one would associate with a queer person. Skip's relationship is more digestible and straightforward, but there is a power dynamic going on there, and to be honest, their relationship does really feel heteronormative. And I think straight men, they gravitate towards Skip's relationship because they could understand it better, they can comprehend it better than they can with Hollandoff. Now let's read the definition of heteronormative and why there is a power dynamic in Skip's relationship. According to Merriam-Webster, heteronormative is of, relating to, or based on the attitude that heterosexuality is the only normal and natural expression of sexuality. American critic and scholar Michael Warner coined the term in 1991 in his book, Introduction, Fear of a Queer Planet. I also want to read a few paragraphs from Wikipedia explaining heteronormativity because it perfectly describes what it is and what it means. Heteronormativity is the definition of heterosexuality as the normative human sexuality. It assumes the gender binary, i.e. that there are only 2 distinct opposite genders, and that sexual and marital relations are most fitting between people of the opposite sex. Heteronormativity creates and upholds a social hierarchy based on sexual orientation, with the practice and belief that heterosexuality is deemed as the societal norm. A heteronormative view, therefore, involves alignment of biological sex, sexuality, gender identity, and gender roles. Heteronormativity has been linked to heterosexism and homophobia, and the effects of societal heteronormativity on lesbian, gay, and bisexual individuals have been described as heterosexual or straight privilege. Now, going back to episode 3, after Scott and Kip hook up for the first time, Scott does ask Kip to stay the night, and I do have thoughts about that, and that will be in the next part. Skipping ahead a little bit in the episode, Scott is very honest and vulnerable about his feelings, and admits that he basically wants a lived-in boyfriend after he comes home from work, and Kip, being so naive and in love, he does acquiesce. Kip agrees to this even though Scott is in the closet and Kip himself is an out and proud gay man. As I said that sentence, you could literally hear the sirens in the background getting louder and louder. And then in the episode, there's this montage of Skip being all happy and lovey-dovey, and Kip low-key living in Scott's apartment. In one of the scenes, Scott comes home from practice, and as soon as he sees Kip, they're making out, and it's all cute and whatever. Well, no, actually, no, it's not all cute. You know why it's not all cute? It's not all cute because this is where the power imbalance starts to kick in. Okay, if I had legs, I'd kick you. This is where the power imbalance starts to kick in, as Skip is subconsciously fulfilling gender-specific roles in the relationship. Scott is seen as the man in the relationship, as he's the one that is making the money and he has money, and he provides Kip with a suit for the banquet gala, and he puts it in the closet. You literally cannot make this shit up. The suit that Scott got Kip, he puts it in the closet. Homeboy, you might just well put yourself in there. And then Scott, he goes out to work, does this little hockey thing, and then he comes back home to have his little Lucy on home realness with Kip. And Kip is seen as the wife slash girlfriend. He's staying at home, cooking Scott meals, and obeying Scott's request to remain in the closet, as Scott is the one holding the power in the relationship, as Scott is the one with the fame, money, and prolific hockey career. And I know Kip understands that Scott could potentially have so much to lose if he were to come out, but at the same time, it's eating at him because he's lying to his friends and family about where he is to protect Scott's secret. Bro literally didn't even go to Kip's birthday party because he was so afraid of how he would be perceived. And I do have to give my man Kip, I do have to give him his 10s, because I was so proud of him when that one scene where literally Scott Hunter, he tells him no, like, I will not be going to your birthday party. He literally tells this man, well, I'm going home tonight. I know that's right, Kip. Take that power right back. Because this man, he literally wanted to have his cake and eat it too. He wanted to, like, have his career, be in the closet, whatever, but then also have someone to come home to, which I get, I understand, but at the same time, like, you can't, bro, you can't do that. You can't be like, oh, I love you, blah, 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 whatever, and just be like, okay, I'm just gonna keep this little secret, and you're gonna be my little secret, and you're gonna, like, this is benefiting me, even though you're the one that has to go back in the closet, like, and people really do, like them. I'm sorry. Even though heteronormativity is against queerness and queer couples, heteronormative concepts can still be thrusted upon queer people and queer couples. Some examples include being straight passing, having a mas/femme relationship, and having a breadwinner paired with a trophy wife stereotype. Queer people having those concepts, ideas, and structures isn't inherently a bad thing, but it does stem from a society that is patriarchal, misogynistic, and homophobic. Before I close out this section of the video, I do want to mention this one thing, because when I saw this, it literally got on my nerves. I saw this insane take and I think a TikTok comment section that Skip are indeed equals in their relationship because they're verse. Tell me, is that not the most insane thing you have ever heard? I can't even begin to scratch the surface on how wrong that is, but the main thing is, even if they are verse, Scott has to say so in the relationship because he's the one that holds the power, as he is the one with money and he is famous. So just because they take turns in their sexual relationship doesn't mean that they are equals or treated as such. Yeah, but that whole section was the major reason to why I don't love Skip. Now let's talk about reasons to why I don't find Skip as alluring as Shane and Ilya. Number one, Scott Hunter is a love bomber. Now let's wake that one up. Scott Hunter is a love bomber. Because bro, this is the first time you're hooking up with this man and you're already asking him to stay the night with you. I mean, but to be fair, between you and me, that does happen a lot in the gay community. But still, they barely know each other and they have this serial killer banter throughout the episode. So I would be extremely turned off if Scott were to ask me to stay the night over. But hey, that's just me personally. Then there's this moment in the episode where Scott asks Kip to basically stay in his house and never leave. He admits that he can be pushy and intense and rush into things because he knows what he wants. Okay, work, sure. Work, I guess. I mean, at least he's self-aware. And they do say I love you pretty soon. And I do understand that with this episode, it's basically most of the book. Basically 80% of the book is this episode. But still, they say I love you so freaking soon. It's like, girl, whoa. Savannah, slow down. Yeah, they say I love you pretty soon, and that segues into my next point. Number 2, their relationship is very digestible, like I said earlier, and kind of boring, I can't lie. Especially when compared to Shane and Ilya. Skip does give me that kind of Hallmark movie vibe, and I mean that in the derogatory sense. So because their story felt so ordinary and plain, for me personally, there was just no emotional payoff. And literally, I know what you're thinking. I already know what you're thinking, but let me explain myself, okay? Yes, in episode 5, when Scott kissed Kip on the ice after winning the Stanley Cup, that was a nice moment, but I only felt emotional for Shane and Ilya since it's a pivotal moment in their storyline, and it gives Ilya the bravery to accept Shane's invitation at the cottage. Shane and Ilya didn't even know it would be possible to be an openly queer hockey player, even though in this period of time, Shane and Ilya weren't ready to come out yet. Watching that kiss shifted their perspectives and made them want to be honest about how they feel about each other, and I literally felt that for them. I felt that for them because they literally went through hell the past decade. And that, again, segues into my next point. Keep in mind, I am only really talking about the episode and not the book, because this whole video itself was inspired by how much straight men really love Skip. And I know straight men were not reading the Game Changer series. At least most of them weren't. So, like, this next take, it's based on the episode, not the book itself. But yes, number 3, the only, and I mean only, barrier Skip had in their relationship is Scott being in the closet and Kip having to hide in there with him. And even though they are gay, they still do have levels of privilege as they are still white men. Shane and Ilya went through so many obstacles before they said I love you to each other, and to me that's just what makes their story so much more interesting and compelling and has so much of an emotional payoff. Like when literally Ilya in bed with Shane in episode 6, and when he said I love you to Shane, I felt that. Like, that was emotional payoff because of all they've been through. Now, referring back to the obstacles, the obvious one being the language barrier, their cultural differences, and how that relates to their upbringing and communication styles. Shane comes from a loving family and was granted that amazing communication, while Ilya's second language is English. Ilya's from Russia, and Slavics are more reserved and stoic, and are also very cautious with people they're not close to. So why do you think Ilya acted like that towards Shane in the very first scene of the show? Some other obstacles include Shane repressing his sexuality and his internalized homophobia, Ilya being bisexual in a country that is very dangerous to be queer, and literally concealing his sexuality for safety reasons. Also the fact that they were both drafted by rivaling teams. What else? Oh, Shane being half Japanese and playing in a league that is majority white and not only homophobic but also racist as well. Ilya dealing with his toxic family and how that affects his situationship with Shane in the beginning stages. And again, Shane being half Japanese and having a lot of Asian and Asian Canadian kids view him as a role model, so it reinforces the idea that he has to be this model minority and be this golden boy hockey player and not be controversial, and unfortunately being gay is very controversial. Why do you think Shane attempts to date Rose and try to make it work? Why do you think Shane literally tells Yuna, his mom, that he tried but he just can't help it? Oh my god, that scene? No, we can't talk about that. We can't talk about that scene, no. Literally so heartbreaking, I cannot even. I also think what makes Shane and Ilya so great is because even though they aren't the best communicators, they understand each other and how dire the situation would be if they were to be outed. With Scott and Kip, no matter how much they love each other, they could never truly get where the other person was coming from, because Kip is not a hockey player and Scott isn't out, while Shane and Ilya are both of those things. Also with Shane and Ilya, there is no power imbalance and they are both equals in their relationship. Also, a lot of alsos, Scott and Kip live in New York City, so they were in close proximity to each other and weren't living in 2 completely different countries like Shane and Ilya were. Also, the fact that Ilya and Shane could only see each other a few times a year, if that, while Skip are literally in the same city. Skip literally had an anthill compared to Hollandoff. And my very last reason to why I don't like Skip like that is because maybe it's just me, but I didn't feel the chemistry between Skip as I do with Hollandoff. Also, Skip literally has no personality. They have no unique traits. And it seems like they've only fallen in love with each other because they're both just attracted to each other. But yeah, I hope they might kill me for that one. I hope the Skip girlies, they might kill me for that one. Now it is time for my final thoughts. And once again, I did not write anything down, so everything is just gonna go off the dome, okay? So I do want to begin off by saying that, again, the disclaimer I made in the beginning of this video, we can have different opinions, but we can still have great conversations in the comment section below without attacking each other. So please don't attack me. I'm just one stranger off the internet. And again, the beautiful thing about opinions is we don't have to share them. And what's so interesting about having different opinions and perspectives is, again, we can have conversations about our different opinions and perspectives. Because imagine if we just agreed on everything. Like, how boring would that be? Like, we would have no conversations. Like, that's what makes having different opinions so interesting, especially when we're having a conversation. Yeah, so I just wanted to say that. Another thing I really wanted to say is, like I said in my last Heated Rivalry video, I really do love this show. I cannot wait until we're back, next April. And I'm pretty sure they're all going to be filming, I would say sometime in August. So, Jacob, I can't wait to see what magic you perform with season 2. And I'm pretty sure, I really do think that season 2 is going to be split into two seasons. Season 2, I mean, the long game is going to be split into 2 seasons, because in my opinion it makes sense. I don't think the whole book is going to be split into, I don't think that book is only going to be like 6 episodes. That would be kind of insane, especially since we're getting Troy and Harris. We're getting their story, so I'm excited for that. And I'm sorry, like I said earlier in this video, I was not joking. We can skip that Skip wedding, because literally the Skip wedding, it happens in Role Model, like the epilogue of Role Model. I don't know if Jacob is gonna like just change some things and make Skip have a scene, like a wedding scene. I really hope not. I really hope not, because I don't need to see Skip like that. I really don't. And yes, so when I was watching a lot of reactions to episode 3, I was very perplexed to why a lot of straight men really did like Skip. But really researching and writing this video, which I had so much fun writing this video, probably my favorite written video I have so far. But yes, like actually writing it just made me realize that it does really make sense to why a lot of straight men gravitated towards Skip. And I think the whole point of this video is, I think the root of it is that we live in a society that is so patriarchal, that is so misogynistic, that is so homophobic, that, see, it's so ingrained in our society, so where even if you think you're very progressive and you have progressive views, you still might have certain behavior, certain thoughts, certain actions that stem from living in a society that is like this. So even if you are a straight man and you watch a show like Heated Rivalry and be like, oh, I'm so cool, I'm so woke, I'm so progressive, but then there's certain reasons to why you like Skip more, that could be something you can unpack. And not saying that every person that likes Skip is, you know, heteronormative or has that way of thinking. I'm not saying that at all. But it is something to reflect on and think about, and just like ask yourself the question, why do I gravitate towards Skip more? Because like, again, I literally listed down the reasons to why I gravitate towards Shane and Ilya more. So something to think about. Something to think about. But yes, it is that time. Now it is your turn. I am passing the mic to you. Tell me your thoughts, your opinions. Am I right? Are you also, in this shipping war, are you also Team Hollandoff? Or are you Team Skip? Are you Team Skip? And do you think I'm stupid, ugly, and dumb, and everything I said in this video was stupid and dumb, and do you hate me, and do you want to leave a hate comment? If you want to leave a hate comment, leave a hate comment. But as long as you're leaving the hate comment towards me, that's cool. Just don't hate each other. It's funny how I'm like saying like we can have nuanced conversations whenever, but if you really do hate this video, go ahead and give me your all, because I really do want to hear, like I say, like, even if you disagree with me, I really just want to hear your takes, your thoughts, your opinions, because yeah, I love reading people's comments. I love a comment section. So yes, once again, I had so much fun making this video. I love it. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy and grateful that you watched the whole entire thing, because if you did watch the whole entire thing, you're watching this part, and I just thank you so much, and mwah, love you so much, and later, skater. Later, skater. I will see you in the next video, okay? I love you. 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 Mwah. Ciao. Later, skater. Au revoir. That's French, Ilya.